This is Sid and Friends in the Morning.
77 WABC.
You know I love the Pretenders, Louis. It's 9:35 here. I got a really nice pen that I use every day that Mike Sapraicone gave to me when he was in studio a couple of weeks ago. I've seen him since. I was the keynote speaker for Mike Lawler up in Rockland County. Lou's got the pen, too. Look at that. And Mike was there as well and did a good job. He actually spoke that night. Mike, of course, is running against that wretched, and I mean wretched, Kirsten Gillibrand, one of the worst people we've got in office today. And we need Mike to win. The bottom line is we need Mike to win. So here he is, former cop. So, Mike, I'm not sure you were listening earlier, but I'm a guy that I know you know, that I'm sure you love. I love him desperately. Paul DiGiacomo walked out of his office yesterday and called it quits after 42 years. 4 of those years as the head of the DEA. I know you've got tremendous respect for Paul.
Paul's a great, I work with his dad. So his dad was a transit cop when I came on in 1980. Paul's a great guy, and I know how difficult it was for him to leave yesterday. 42 years is a long time. Some might say 22 years too many. But Paul's a dedicated guy who enjoyed work, and he was a great union leader. He was my union leader. So I congratulate him, and it's kind of sad to see him go. But I want to congratulate you first, Sid, because I'm at the Met-Yankee game last night.
Oh, yeah?
And then all of a sudden on the scoreboard comes up, the Blue Bears undefeated. Okay? And now, you know how people start to chatter around you and stuff, and they say, like, you know, coach of the year, this could be coach of the year. You know, coaching's more than 10%. You know, if you have the right coach, it doesn't matter about the team. And then I hear you later on talking about maybe leaving. Please,
leave.
I'm asking you as the next senator here in New York State. Said, don't leave for your son, for the team, for the state and the country. You need to stay around.
I love the fact that you listen. And you heard that hours ago. That's great.
I listen.
And it was great coaching Gabriel, that whole team last night. That's funny. You're a Met fan, obviously.
I'm a Met fan, yes. I'm a baseball fan, but I'm a Met fan.
You're a Met fan. Yeah. So you like what you saw the last 2 nights.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Terrific.
But when you become senator for the state of New York, you have to, I guess, love everything about New York, right?
Well, I do love everything about New York. I'm a sports fan. But so it's good to have a team, but you need to be a fan of everything.
Right.
And just like when I become senator, I'm not just going to be the conservative Republican senator. I'm going to be the senator for the United States, for New York State.
Which you talk about. You're the senator for everybody. Before we get to that, though, you know, talking about Paul DiGiacomo, talking about the cops. You were a great cop for a very, very long time. Much better cop than the mayor was. But,
and we were on together, too, buddy.
I know you
He'll
are.
deny that. But.
I know. But we've got a situation, which I really think Governor Andrew Cuomo, I've not been beating up Cuomo as of late because I've gotten to know him a little bit personally, and I still want to talk to him a little more, find out what really makes him do the things that he does, what makes him tick. But he was a guy that paroled a bunch of these cop killers. He did. One of these guys especially, that guy Bell, Herman Bell, is a real scumbag. What's with New York paroling these guys who kill cops?
So we're putting a petition out now, and you can see that at MikeSapraicone.com, and we need about 10,000 signatures. So between Cuomo and Hochul, they've released 41 cop killers.
41?
In the state of New York. 41 cop killers in the last 7 years. 2 more up for parole this month. Okay. And as I speak to the widows, around, you know, the, Mrs. Sledge from, 1980, her husband was killed, and, other widows. People don't realize these are the widows and the families are doing life sentences, not the murderers.
That's right.
They're being released because they're 55 years of age and they need to deserve a second chance. But what about the families who never got a second chance? It's ridiculous. We were up in Albany doing a press conference a couple of weeks ago. And why would we even have to do a press conference about this? What's the purpose? You know, then I went to the police memorial up there in Albany about a month or so ago, and Hochul's there with her sunglasses on, and she stood up and told everybody how she supports the police. Are you kidding me? You're letting cop killers out. This is common sense.
Yeah.
This is not hard stuff.
She supports nothing except for the Buffalo Bills. And I just realized that not only did I see you at the GOP event in Rockland and hear a bunch, We're talking about widows of slain cops. You and I were both inside the church.
That's right.
For Jonathan Diller.
Right. We were. And Stephanie did such a great job. What a strong person at that moment in her life to stand up to everybody. And, another person who's Mrs. Piantini.
Yes.
She has been terrific.
Oh, that was a brutal story.
Her husband, Joseph, was assassinated with Officer Waverly in 1971. And that killer of Joseph has been released. And how do you do that? What kind of society do we live in?
Well, what is the rationale? Is that what you just said? They've learned their lesson. They found Jesus. What's the rationale?
Listen, I believe in rehab to a certain extent, so we all do, and
not
we understand
killers.
that.
Not
killers, though. Not killers. They should be, and that's why we're going to look at some federal legislation, which I would support and vote for as soon as I become United States Senate, where any law enforcement officer killed in the line of duty in this country will be federally charged without parole and a death penalty if appropriate in that state. And I think that's important. Take it out of the parole board's hands.
Yes, agreed. That would be a great move. But explain to me, okay, because I'm still just a radio guy. I'm more of an entertainer. I'm a smart guy, obviously, but more of an entertainer. Explain to me why all these politicians who seem to have more power than these legislators in Albany can't do anything because of people like Carl Heastie and Andrew Stewart Cousins. Why do they wield this incredible power up in Albany where people like the governor and even senators can't get these idiots, these morons, to fix bail reform?
Because they don't care. They don't care. It's not affecting them right now. If it was to affect them, you look at situations.
It's not affecting them. Heastie's neighborhood, his constituency, is one of the worst in New York.
He doesn't care about his neighborhood. He cares about himself. He doesn't care about his neighborhood. They don't care about the constituents. We need to start holding the politicians accountable. Same thing with Gillibrand. What has she done in the last 15 years?
What has she done?
Well, that's it. Nothing. And I told you, my big line is, as a cop, you put her in a lineup, you can't pick her out.
Yeah.
But every place I go throughout the state, people think I'm running against the other guy. Who are you running against? Who are you running against?
Eisen?
Oh, yeah, no. I'm not going there with you. Or maybe Carrie, you want to say, okay? I'm trying to stay away from that.
Who's the other guy?
Schumer. They don't even know who's running.
Right,
They don't even know who's running, right?
Right.
They don't even know who she is, okay?
Well, she lives in Troy, New York. Where does she live?
Well, I heard she lives in Washington now. She's going to vote at her mother's house. But I don't know that. I don't know that for a fact. But the point is, we don't hold anybody accountable. Congestion pricing. Look at the stupidity. Okay, now you're going to all of a sudden cancel that after everybody's been hyped up on it for years. You're going to cancel it right before the election.
Well, it's coming back, though. Now it's coming back.
It's going to come back.
Yeah.
It's going to come
back. It may
back.
come back before the election. But here's what I know about you. You stand for a lot of good stuff. Like Trump endorsed you, that's great. But
he endorsed me again the other day. So he's endorsed me twice this week already. This week. Twice this week.
And his initial endorsement was a really long, enthusiastic endorsement. But I know who you are. You're a good guy. You're a former cop. You care about people. You want to fix all the laws that are getting people killed in the state of New York. You want to fix the laws that have illegals walking the streets and committing all these heinous crimes. You want to make sure that New Yorkers don't get taxed up the kazoo. All these things are on your plate. What exactly does Kirsten Gillibrand want to do? Look at what she's done. What does she want to do that's going to improve life in the state of New York?
Nobody knows. She's not saying, but nobody knows. She's not saying anything. Does she stand up for Israel? Is she what? She stood up for certain things. I guess in the military, she tried to change some things in the military. What has she done here in our state? No one has seen her. She has no initiatives. She's not engaged. She really is missing in action. And I'm not trying to be nasty. No.
Look, but I want to listen. We have a habit in this country. Okay, the white man at this point is not the favorite. Okay, especially a white Italian cop. No thanks. Give me a black person. Give me a gay person. Give me a woman. So she's a woman. Okay, so right off the bat, she's got heads up on her competitor. Is it fair to say that maybe she's won a bunch of times because she's a woman? Now, Chuck Schumer's not a woman. He's won too, so maybe it's not fair to say. But other than her being a woman, what else does she have?
Well, I just to go back, I think when she was appointed by Patterson, which I think was a mistake, and I think that was
David Patterson?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And I don't I like the former governor. I've met him a couple of times. He's a nice man.
He's a great guy.
But I think once you get put in as an incumbent, it's really yours to lose. and you have to do something to lose it. She's doing something to lose it now. She's doing nothing.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to cause this problem. I think this is such a great opportunity for us, for the party right now. And it's all about timing. And this is the time. I mean, look at, you talk about you being a great coach. Look at Chairman Cairo in Nassau County, what he's done as our coach out there. And Jesse Garcia, I'm going to be with him tonight in Suffolk at a watch party with the young Republicans. And you look at these chairmen working hard, Chairman Cox, who you know well. This is our time. If we can't do it this time,
I agree.
We'll never do it.
I agree.
And we have to do it.
So what are you hearing? It's early, obviously. The election's not until November. But are you hearing good things? Are you getting anything back, any numbers back that would lead you to believe you got a real chance of winning this?
Well, I think the Siena poll, and you can't always go, it's Siena poll, but 42% of New Yorkers don't even want her. Another 42%, I think, don't even know her. So we're in a really good place on that. And that was one of the things the president came out with the other day after seeing that poll to re-endorse me again. But I think we have to work together, and as Republicans, we need to work hard and stay together. But some of the things we need to do that we don't do well, Sid, we don't do early voting. I'm a guy, you go out Tuesday morning, you get a bagel, you vote, you take the kids out to the park.
Of course.
No more. We have to get out there and do early voting.
We got to play their game.
We got to play their games. We have to do absentee ballots. We've always been good on boots on the ground, but it showed in the Mozzie race, and I know you're a fan of Mozzie's, and I was also.
Love her.
It snowed that day. That didn't help them, right?
Yes.
So we need to get out there. We need to talk about ourselves, bring out our agendas. These are not just issues of conservative Republican. These are common sense American issues. And people are starting to realize that. People are seeing that.
Mike, you're a great candidate. You really are. And I've enjoyed our friendship the last couple of weeks and months. And I look forward to the next couple of months and bringing you right to that finish line where you get the win come November. We'll do this often over the next couple of months.
This is a lot of fun for me.
Me too. Thank you for coming in today and continued success. You're doing great.
Thanks, Sid. I appreciate it.
You got it. Mike Sapraicone, that's our guy against Gillibrand coming up in November, folks. Enthusiastically, I want an enthusiastic endorsement like President Trump has now done 3 times for my buddy Mike Sapraicone.